Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's Golden Win Geekout. I'm your host, Danny, got my partner in crime, Ryan.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
And we're here to talk about episode 12, the second mission from the boss. Quick note, I guess, before we even talk about the episode, just in case if anyone hasn't heard, would be surprised if you haven't, but the first soundtrack for Vento Arreo has just been released. You can people have already taken it and put the soundtrack on YouTube. It's very much worth the listen. I'm not sure if has it shown up on iTunes or whatever that you can legally buy. I don't know.
Actually, thinking about it now, it's seeing as how they've already started, posting the first part of the soundtrack for Vento Arreo. Have they posted any official lyrics for the opening, Fighting Gold?
I have not looked.
Yeah, because I know it's been a while since I've tried to look at, more so the English version of the opening, because even then it sounds so good. But so, yeah, it's been a while since I've looked at the lyrics for that, but last time I checked, it was more so I guess technically the unofficial lyrics for it. And I guess they have yet to get the official lyrics on their websites or whatever and all that stuff. So yeah, that's why I was kind of asking if they did anything of the sort. Seeing as how they already started posting the soundtrack for Vento Arreo.
If the lyrics are out there, they're probably on the JoJo Wiki by now. Well, I'll double check that and fact check it later. But if that is indeed the case, chances are likely it's on the JoJo Wiki already.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so, hooray, we got some Vento Arreo music finally that, we can, listen to with, no other, dialogue or anything to interrupt it. Now we can hear the prettiness. So now we can actually talk,
Yes.
now we can actually talk about the episode.
Right. Okay, can I just go ahead and just say, alright, from the last Golden Week Geek Out, if you guys recall, I had this massive prediction on how everything was going to play out. Now, first part of the episode, I thought we were onto something, because the first episode, it started out with first they did the little brief recap of what happened near the end of the last episode, went straight to the intro, so I was okay, I think we have a new record for the episode, going straight into the introduction, and then they had the scene where we had some new exclusive content where Fugo, Abacchio, and Giorno were just having some conversations and whatnot, as they're driving to Pompeii, because that's where the next stand user is going to be located at. But ever since then, it's everything else didn't exactly play out how I initially predicted. But considering what we got halfway through the episode, none of it matters. I was fucking stoked. I was not expecting this. I appreciate it.
Yes, but before we actually get into that, so speaking as far as that added scene, so in the manga, they did have the little snippet where you got your little brief history lesson of Pompeii, typical JoJo fashion. Usually this is the narrator's job to just briefly talk about, okay, this is where they're headed, and, because these are real life locations, of course they're going to give a little bit of a historical, snippet and stuff. That was how it was in the manga. They've even treated that, even in the anime. If you remember Capri, the narrator took care of, giving the brief little history lesson for Capri. So, okay, you're thinking, okay, they're going to do the same thing for Pompeii. But they decided to switch it up a little bit. This time around, they're in the car, and Fugo is the one that is actually telling Giorno all about Pompeii. So all that whole history lesson, it's now Fugo that's telling the story, which, okay, that makes sense. I mean, the guy is knowledgeable and everything, so it totally makes sense. And then Giorno points out that, Fugo took a wrong turn. And Fugo, because he's got such a short temper and, the slightest little thing will piss him off, yeah, he looked he's ready to bash Giorno's head in right then and there, and then, Abacchio was the one that had to calm him down. Although, let's just be frank, Abacchio probably wouldn't care if Fugo did bash Giorno's head in or not, because, Abacchio doesn't trust him. So it's like, as
Yeah.
much as he would probably love to see that, Bakio's in mission mode right now. So that's where he's just like, Fugo, calm down, just turn around,
Yeah, stay focused, Fugo. Stay focused.
Yeah, so, it was a very brief little scene, but I liked it.
I did too, actually.
Yeah. So then when they actually do get into Pompeii, now we're in, back with familiar manga territory. This is where we see Illuso coming in and then his stand. And it took 12 episodes, but we finally called a stand name change. So Man in the Mirror is just known as Mirror Man. So yeah, it's a Mega Man villain sounding name, but fuck it. I don't care. We got one. We finally got one.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it's like, and then I don't know about you, Ryan, but I actually really like the color scheme that they went with Man in the Mirror here, because in the manga, like they went with like a dark blue, purple, brown color scheme, and here they went bleh. Why can't I talk? They went with a black and white with a little bit of a red highlight, and it's like I really like that.
Yeah, I did too, actually. I really liked it how his red shades, really stood out with his current design in the anime.
Yeah, I mean, granted, this could very well be because, like, when you look at that color scheme, like, it definitely kind of gives off, like, Black Sabbath vibes, and, I mean, you heard me gush about how much I love the design of Black Sabbath, so it was like, oh, okay, the color scheme kind of reminds me of Black Sabbath, so it's like, maybe that's why I liked it, but I don't care, it's awesome.
It really is.
Alrighty, so pretty much, it plays out just like in the manga. Fugo gets pulled into the mirror. Illuso's pretty much beating the shit out of him. Abakio and Jorno are like, what the hell? Where's Fugo? They can't find him anywhere. Fugo's stand, Purple Haze, is separated. He's outside the mirror. Abakio gives the whole spiel about what Purple Haze does, that it's a killer virus that infects and kills anything within 30 seconds. So, I mean, yeah, that's all familiar manga territory. Now let's actually talk about halfway through the episode. Oh!
Wait a minute! Are you serious? What?
Moment of truth! Moment of truth! Is this Purple Haze feedback?
I can't believe we're actually getting his backstory now! Halfway through the goddamn episode! And we just what? We're just starting this fight! Oh my god.
Fugo は時折自分でもよくわからない怒りの感情に襲われたが
Okay, this is new. This is not Purple Haze feedback.
Holy shit.
そしてその怒りは Fugo が
This is actually 100% legit. This is 100% original. Holy shit.
教授
こんな時間まで何をやっているのかね。
来週出す課題です。ちょうどいい判例が見つからなくて。
水臭いな。わからないところがあったらいつでも私に聞きにおいでと言っただろう。
いえ、そう何度もお世話になるわけには。
君のような若者を。
Bad touch. Bad touch.
Are they real?
Adult. Adult. Adult.
No.
Adult.
Oh god, no! Oh Jesus!
Wait, what the hell? No! Oh!
God!
Wait, did he just impale? No! Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Jesus Christ!
Yes, it was.
What?
It was self-defense then.
Holy fuck!
I was not expecting it to go in this direction.
Jesus Christ! Oh my god. Yo!
Because, now, in the manga, bear in mind, when it came to Fugo's backstory, all we got was that snippet of what Illuso said. So when Aluzo pulled out the file and said, all right, here's your IQ. You went to university at 13, but then you got kicked out because you beat a teacher with a book, and, you then joined up with Passione. That's literally all we had of Fugo's backstory in the manga. So this is why for weeks, Ryan and I, and I'm sure many others, have constantly been saying we want to see Fugo's backstory, like fully illustrated, some brand new content, fully fleshed out, because god damn it, he deserves it just like everybody else. And I think maybe we were expecting that, okay, they'll probably save that for like the beginning of the next episode, because that tends to be the case with all of these backstories that we've had so far. But halfway through the episode, we got Fugo's backstory.
No, it's like, that's just it. Like, in my big, like, prediction that I had near the end of the last Golden Wing Geekout, I was thinking, like, okay, they were gonna find some way to drag on this first portion, this huge chunk of the Man in the Mirror fight, and it'll end it off with, like, say, I don't know, like, the big reveal of Purple Haze before it goes to the to be continued sign. And then the next episode, that's when we would get Fugo's backstory. But it's like, no, it's crazy. 'Cause my mind is still blown, because it's like, we got the reveal of Purple Haze much earlier than what I anticipated within this episode. It's like, we didn't even get to Purple Haze, like, at the halfway point when we unveil, like, the enemy stand user and the enemy stand. So yeah, like, the big early reveal of Purple Haze, it's like, oh, okay, something tells me we're not gonna get any Fugo backstory at all. But then that's, joke's on you, says David Productions. We're giving you a 100% completely original Fugo backstory, like, right after we got the title card with the enemy stand and stand user. And it just threw me off guard so goddamn much, because I was not expecting this, at halfway through the episode. Because you're absolutely right, Danny. We usually get these backstories with the members of the team, like, in the beginning of, like, another episode, like during a fight of sorts, like halfway through said fight.
Yeah. So suffice to say, so for those of you who are anime-only watchers, or for those of you who have not read the light novel Purple Haze Feedback, no, this backstory is not from Purple Haze Feedback. This is entirely new, entirely original. So, I guess, now this kind of dashed our hopes of, seeing Purple Haze Feedback getting animated in some capacity, but, you know what? I will fucking live, because the backstory that we did get here, honestly, I think it's just as good. So it's like, okay, so in the anime, so the backstory that we got was that, Fugo came from a wealthy family. He was already shown at a young age to be very intelligent, but he also had his fits of rage, but he was trying to hold it back. Like, you see the scene where Fugo's damn near close to stabbing his father, but he had to, hold himself back. So the first time he actually does unleash the rage, not what I was expecting.
I don't think any of us were expecting this. Yeah, it's a very unsettling territory.
Okay, got another post-recording interruption here, mostly because, long-time commentating buddy from way back in the day, young author Adam, actually tweeted Ryan and I, and I'm just gonna show this tweet, just because it's so fucking obvious, but I never put that two and two together until he pointed that out, so holy shit. Yeah, like, we see this scene where, like, Fugo's in the library and, like, a teacher comes up and, the teacher's clearly hitting on him. Like, he totally wants to rape him. And Fugo takes the book and beats him, so, it presents it as this was self-defense. So that's pretty much what this was. This was the first time that Fugo actually unleashes his rage, was in self-defense, and therefore really justifiable. Because it's like, if he had unleashed his rage, with against like his dad, where we saw earlier with the knife and everything, that would have made him a cold-hearted murderer, would have given you a completely different look on Fugo. But here they looked like, okay, they're trying to make it a little bit more sympathetic. This was self-defense, but he still got screwed regardless because he's kicked out of university, his parents disown him, and he pretty much ends up living on his own, and pretty much like living on the streets just like Narancia, except Fugo was way better off. He didn't have an eye infection to worry about, and because of Fugo's intelligence, he could actually get away with doing some shady shit in order to survive. And this actually catches Bruno's attention because like Fugo tried to dine and dash, but ended up getting caught, and Bruno took notice of that and was like, you know what? Hey, dude, I like you. So, hey, you want to join my team? So it's like, so like pretty much he recognized, Fugo's intelligence, and Fugo's saying, yeah, no, I have no interest, in getting involved with anybody because I'm just gonna end up, getting somebody killed because of my rage alone. And Bruno's like, don't worry, buddy, I'll bring out the best in you. So it's like, so that was that. Which, okay, I'd say that's a pretty decent backstory for Fugo. So, here's how Purple Haze Feedback handled it. And I'm only going to bring this up just because, for comparison's sake, again, I'll be sure to put a spoiler tag here. If you guys, I highly recommend reading Purple Haze Feedback, even though it's not canon clearly now. It's still very much worth the read, and if you're an anime-only watcher, please wait until the anime is complete before you go and read Purple Haze Feedback. So, here's Fugo's backstory in Purple Haze Feedback. So, very similar situation. He was actually the third son. So he had two older brothers that was born into this wealthy family. But his two older brothers, yeah, they had nothing special. They were just average blokes. But Fugo, again, showed promise at a very early age. And thus, that's when, his parents and even his grandfather, they were like, okay, give him the best tutors, put him in the finest schools, do whatever you can to nurture the fuck out of this kid, because this kid is gonna, really, bring a lot of prestige to our family name. And this, again, similar to how it was in the anime, this ultimately actually ended up discouraging Fugo. Because whenever he would ask questions to his teachers, saying, well, you have all these, you got all these, great people in the past that have, created masterpieces in music and art and architecture. And it's basically the line, I think, was, if the best of the best have already come and gone, what is there left for me to do? But everybody's like, oh, dude, don't think like that. So Fugo was very discouraged in, how he was being, taught. The one person that he felt that he could actually, open himself up to and actually, just be himself, no stress whatsoever, was actually with his grandma. His grandma, she didn't see him as, this prized trophy child. She just saw him as Panicotta Fugo. He's like, this is my grandkid, I love him nonetheless. So he was very close to his grandma. So when he goes into university, she dies of old age. All Fugo wanted to do was, he wanted to go to her funeral, say his last goodbyes. But his family said, nope, don't even bother, stay in school and study. And this, again, discouraged Fugo so much that he took a test and he failed it. And the teacher got so pissed because, Fugo's so good and, what the hell is this kid doing failing my test? Is he not taking my class seriously? So he pulls Fugo into his office and starts yelling at him to, basically say, start taking everything seriously. Fugo tries to explain, I'm sorry, I couldn't concentrate, my grandma died. But his teacher is saying, oh, that's just a shitty excuse, let go of your grandma already. Pretty much by insulting his grandmother's memory, that is pretty much what causes Fugo to snap. He takes up the book and beats the teacher within an inch of his life. He ends up getting arrested. The police tried to call Fugo's parents saying, hey, we got your kid in jail now. He beat a teacher with a book. We need you to come get him. And the family disowns him. Again, very similar to the anime. And the cops are basically saying, all right, look, if no one's going to pick you up, you're going to end up going to like a home or something. So, pretty much Fugo's life is practically done at this point. And that's when Bruno shows up. Bruno actually shows up to the jail cell and actually starts interviewing Fugo. He starts like asking him questions like, what happened and stuff. And when Fugo tells him everything, that's where Bruno, again, no team yet or anything. That's when he offers him and says, hey, why don't you come help me? I don't have a team yet. I'm, a bottom rung gangster, but you know what? I could use a level head. I need somebody like you with me. And Fugo, at first he's really skeptical, but he ultimately ends up warming up to Bruno because it reminds him very much of his grandmother. Bruno, he's not seeing, oh, here's this potential person that I can use. Bruno is seeing Panna Cotta Fugo, and he wants Panna Cotta Fugo. And that's ultimately where Fugo decides, all right, I will join with you. So that's the backstory that was presented in Purple Haze feedback. Basically, it was more so Fugo's rage was just more treated not so much as like a self-defense as in the anime, but rather, this is just fine. It was just him. It was the straw that broke the camel's back. After being discouraged by his family and his tutors all around him, and then just that teacher, insulting his grandma. That was pretty much where Fugo's like, that's it, I'm fucking done, and that's when he unleashes hell.
Huh. Okay, so basically it's like the backstory that we got in the anime. I guess it was like, would you consider like this backstory in the anime to be like in a way referenced Purple Haze in a way?
Snippets here and there, I would say. Just because it's like, again, it was, yes, the fact that he was from a wealthy family, he was being highly tutored and pressured, he was being discouraged, that's definitely Purple Haze feedback. But no inclusion of grandma and no teacher trying to rape him in a library, we don't have that. So pretty much like the biggest difference really, again, is how Fugo's rage is handled. Like in Purple Haze feedback, it was pretty much just the straw that broke the camel's back, and it was just he was finally releasing all that pent up frustration. Whereas in the anime, it was treated more of like it was self defense. So one's a little bit more sympathetic than the other. So honestly, I like both backstories. I can't really say if there's one that I prefer over the other. So, I like them both pretty equally. Because even then, like, they both still stay pretty true to Fugo. It's like, even though the anime tried to portray, the beating in a more sympathetic light, because it was self-defense, it was still very much, Fugo's rage, the fact that he snaps, that's still very, very much Fugo.
Okay, all right.
At least that's the way I see it. So, audience, if you happen to have read Purple Haze feedback, by all means, I encourage you to put in your 2 cents. Like, which backstory did you actually prefer? Did you prefer the Purple Haze feedback backstory or the anime backstory? Or are you like me and you just like both? Alrighty, so with that said, I'm trying to think. So pretty much after that, we get the bit where, after Abakio explains what's going on with, with Purple Haze, we get that whole bit where, Abakio is saying, all right, time to just continue on with the mission. And Giorno's like, well, no, we can't leave Fugo behind. And Abakio is saying he's trying to pull rank on him and everything. He's saying, nope, we are doing this. We are going after the key. If I was in Fugo's situation, I would want you to leave me behind, because the key comes first. And Giorno is saying, no, the key does not come first. We need everybody. And, this is where Abakio and Giorno pretty much part ways. And that's more or less how the anime episode ends. So next episode, for certain, we're getting the rest of the Man in the Mirror fight.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, because it's like, because again, like, bear in mind, like, if we did not get Abakio's backstory as early as we did, next episode would have been when we had gotten it. If they were going to follow how it was in the manga. So, I mean, they literally, yeah, so, you know, this is where it's like, I think because they got Abakio's backstory out of the way, they'll be able to dedicate probably the entirety of next episode just solely to the fight.
Yeah, more or less. Like if they don't like add in like some like because I know in my initial prediction I was thinking they would try to drag out the fight even more by like having the entire a little chunk of the episode like cut to like Bruno, Narancia, and Trish like back in the little manor or whatnot. It's like unless if David Production actually does pull something like that off, like at one point during the second half of the Man in the Mirror fight, it's like I think it's safe to say we'll just be getting nothing but just the entirety of like the second half of the Man in the Mirror fight.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the point. And even if we did get like an extra scene, it's probably going to be like very brief. Like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
A minute at most. It's not going to take away too much time. So, I mean, that's something they can easily slip in.
Oh yeah. That's it. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was trying to get at. I wasn't trying to imply it was gonna take like 5 minutes for this extra scene. It's like, yeah, kind of like the brief scene that we got like during Narancia's fight, where it's like everybody back at the manor, they're just like, oh man, Narancia's taking so long. Hope he's okay. God, that bastard needs to come back alive. All that shit. Yeah, I feel like if they slip in another scene like that, in between the Man in the Mirror fight, yeah, it'll be like just as brief.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't think there's really all that much left to really predict as to what's going to happen next week. I mean, I think it's safe to say it's pretty much the rest of the Man in the Mirror fight.
Yeah, fairly certain. Yeah, for the next episode, yeah, it'll just be like completely accurate to what was going on in the manga.
Yeah. So, alrighty then. So I'm trying to think. Is there anything else that we really need to talk about in this episode? Because I mean, again, this one was pretty much straightforward, with the exception of Fugo's backstory.
Yeah, really. It's like I still can't believe we just got that out of the freaking blue, like halfway through the episode and not at the beginning of an episode.
Yeah, I'm just glad we fucking got it.
Yeah, I'm glad too, but it's like, wow, really? At this point during an episode, when I was at that point, it's like after the very early reveal of Purple Haze, I was starting to doubt that we were even gonna get an official backstory for Fugo in this freaking anime. But oh my god, I am so glad I was wrong.
Yeah. Alrighty then. So yeah, man, guys, hope you enjoyed Fugo's backstory as much as we did. And again, like for you anime only watchers, you're probably wondering, like, wait, why the hell did they not give us Fugo's backstory? Again, there's a reason for it in the manga, but we're nowhere near ready to talk about that yet. And we've still got some time before I really go into details, because it's behind the scenes stuff with as Araki was writing the manga. There's it's facts like going on behind the scenes, and I'm not ready to really talk about that, because we gotta wait before I can talk about it, and it's gonna be a while before we get to it. But suffice it to say, just take our word for it. We got Fugo's backstory. It's a big fucking deal.
It really is.
Alrighty, so with that said, hope you guys enjoyed this week. Now, because we are 4 days out, I think it's safe to say, Merry Christmas! Christmas will have come and gone before we move on into the next episode, so by all means, hope you guys have a good holiday, and we will see you next week for the remainder of the Man in the Mirror fight.
All right, see you guys next week, and happy holidays, everybody.